We're going to give you 5 ways mindful perception can enhance your marriage or any relationship for that matter.
Yeah. And mindful perception involves just being fully present and aware of your thoughts, feelings, and
What's up, visionary?
What's good?
Welcome to another episode of Visions of Love and Relationships. I'm Tanya, and this is my wonderful husband.
Lamont.
And we hope everybody's doing well as usual. So, as usual, how was your week? Go ahead and drop a comment. Put a heart if you loved your week. Put some eyes if you just don't know. Or even leave a comment. So our week is going well. We are actually out and about with our great nieces, my mom, our mom, and our sister. Yeah. So we're enjoying it. We've been to the beach with them. Their first time at the beach, so
yeah,
it was very nice to see them. Their eyes just light up at the beach. They had a really nice time. Okay, so as you know, or maybe you don't know, if you follow us, then you know that we've been on mindfulness. This is our mindful month.
Yeah. We decided we're gonna make it a month.
Right. We're gonna make it this month because we're doing a challenge. We're also doing a 30-day mindful challenge on our Facebook page. So hop on over to tnl.jvisions, like and follow. Yeah. We'll put the link. Or you can search tnl.jvisions on Facebook.
You know you gotta put that link.
We'll put the link. We'll put that link, okay? But yeah, join it. Join the challenge. Start at day 1.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, it ain't no.
Yeah, no matter when.
Yeah, it don't matter. Just fall in.
Yeah, the point is, like I said, mindfulness is one of the most important things that we can develop in our relationship. Because it just involves just being present.
Yeah. So, which brings us to what we chopping it up on this week. We're going to give you 5 ways mindful perception can enhance your marriage or any relationship for that matter.
Yeah. And mindful perception involves just being fully present and aware of your thoughts, feelings, and surrounding the current moment without judging. And it also just involves just really being open in a non-reactive mind in the current situation, without rather than reacting in an impulsive behavior like we do. Right. Mindfulness is being present, not reacting in impulsive behavior. Hey, just slim it down.
Right. And mindfulness in marriage is it's just really significant. Because one of the ways that we're going to give you that mindful perception can enhance your marriage is by enhanced understanding.
Yeah.
If you're mindful about your perception in your marriage, then you're being more empathetic.
Yeah.
Okay, you being more empathetic about like what your spouse could be going through or something. Like, you're not judging. Yeah, you're not really judging them based off of what you think.
Yeah, leading with your feelings.
Right.
And an impulse feeling more likely at that.
Right, and that's never good.
Yeah.
Anything impulse is never good.
Yeah.
Ladies, you know how we impulse shop.
Yeah, impulse shopping, impulse buying, impulse eating. That's how we impulse do anything that it always is never good.
Right. And that also includes reduce misunderstandings.
Yeah.
So like being mindful, having a mindful perception is going to reduce misunderstandings.
Yeah.
Because you're not thinking about it.
Yeah.
You present in that moment and you mindful, so you know what's going on. You going off truth.
You mindful and
you're
attentive.
Feelings. Yes.
That's another. You mindful and you're attentive of what's going on.
Right.
And it's more likely a less likelihood of that getting started into a conflict when we able to be mindful and attentive that it's not leading with our emotions.
Right. It's good not to lead with your emotions. I know I'm working on it too. I'm still working on not making decisions based off of how I feel.
Yeah.
In certain things. Cause I'm a feeling.
Yeah. I mean, most women are lead with feelings.
Yeah, and emotions.
Yeah. And we got to realize that life is not about checkers.
Yeah.
It's about chess. And checkers, you just checkers. See, the game of chess, checkers. If you don't know, I'm school you on the game of chess and checkers. Checkers, you just move any kind of way. You really don't have no strategy. You just impulse react. And checkers, just impulse reaction. Chess, it's a strategic reaction. Every move in chess is strategic reaction. You never impulsively move because if you impulsively move in chess, then it can cost you a lot.
Right. Chess forces you to be mindful, present.
It forces you to be present at all times because you can make one bad move in chess and then mess up your whole little thing. Somebody come all up in your house and take over your castle.
Wow. Yeah, I never did get the full understanding the chess, but it's not that I wouldn't be able to pick up what I needed to do. It's more like just what all the little chess players do.
But here's the thing about that game. See, chess and checkers. Chess is a game that you really gotta stop. You gotta be attentive.
Right.
You gotta pay attention. You gotta be mindful to play chess. To learn how to play chess, you gotta be mindful because there's so many different parts.
Right.
And chess is so much like life. There's so many different parts. Every part do different things.
Right.
Checkers, you only got they both. I don't think you got to go down there to get a queen so you can do something different. Everything else they do the same thing. There's no like uniqueness in it. But that's not the way life is. Life is strategic.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if we can learn and live life as a strategic move, and we more thoughtful, we more mindful in everything we do, then we're gonna realize that our life is gonna be more enhanced.
Yeah.
It's gonna be more happy because we're enjoying every little moment. Every little moment means something to us.
Right. Yeah, and in order to move right, you got to be mindful.
Yeah.
Attentive. Another way that mindful perception helps us
number 2
improve in our relationship is number 2, and it helps improve communication.
Yeah.
Period. So I know, again, if you've been following us, then seeing our prior videos, and you hear us talk about active listening. Okay.
And mindfulness promotes that. Mindfulness promotes active listening because why? You're in a mindful state. I'm right here. I'm present. I'm looking at you. I'm not in my feelings. I'm actually paying attention to your words, not waiting to respond.
Right.
Because sometimes we're not in the right state of mind, or the right perception of our mind, and we're ready to respond versus reacting to what our partner said.
Right. That's why it's important, again, be slow to speak.
Yeah. And quick to listen.
Quick to listen. All right. So take that 10 seconds to just really be present, and so you can actually get that mindful perception of what your partner is saying. You know, don't start jumping to conclusions. See, that's another thing that mindful perception enhances in a relationship, and that's nonverbal cues.
Yeah, we able to catch those nonverbal.
Right. It helps us catch. It enhances the way we perceive it. Yeah. So we're able to catch it.
Because when we talking, more of our talking, like 70% of it is body language. So that's what we got to really realize. So if we attentive and we mindful, we paying attention, then we able to catch on more of the clues that's not being said.
Yeah.
So all we hear is the mouth or the tone of voice, but we're not paying attention to everything else. And if we are mindful, we paying attention, then our perception is gonna be on looking at we paying attention to everything.
Right.
The full conversation, and the conversation is with mouth and body language and everything else.
Right. Yeah, I definitely can tell when Lamont's in distress or something without him even having to open his mouth. I can't, I pay attention to detail, so I know the little things that he do. Then I'll be like, "You okay, baby? You like good, baby?" And it'd be non-verbal ways, but I definitely catch on that with him.
Yeah, because I'm like, yeah, talk up under my breath.
Yeah. It's different, love.
Yeah, and most of the cues, like I said, most of the cues that the cues that your partner is gonna put off are gonna be nonverbal.
Yeah.
And if we're not mindful, we're gonna miss those things. Most of the cues are like things that's bother or that's on your mind is gonna be nonverbal. You might have to bring it out your partner. That's why it's good for us to be, like I said, be mindful, be present, so we be in tune and we vibing with our partner. And that being being mindful. Once you stop vibing, you stop being mindful.
Yeah. And so again, and also when we're mindfully perceiving things, we're able to talk to our spouse in a like, okay, maybe me and Lamont having a conversation, but it's not like such a good conversation. Yeah. Or it might be, but his tone, if he had a like an argumentative tone, then I should be mindful enough, yeah, this being my husband, to know that he just got that tone, yeah, he's upset, or he might not even be upset. It just might be who he is.
And see, we got it.
So it's up to me to understand, and even know, like, if we've been together for years, I should know.
Yeah, like that person. You are. Like yeah, when some people talk, their voice might raise up.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be like, oh, he want to fight or he want to do this and that just because you raise your voice. I gotta perceive it the right way. I got to be mindful enough to be like, I know, this is my marriage. Yeah. This is my husband. He loved me. Yeah. We teamwork, and he might be a little upset, or this just might be the way
the
he
voice
talk.
might have came off a little hostile because maybe it's something. Yeah, and we do got to be mindful that, and an empathetic state to realize that don't get offensive. Yeah. We can't get all in our feelings. Anytime we leave with the feelings, you say something, somebody else say something, then we start the feelings getting away. Then the conversation's out of whack and we can't get nothing done. Right. We in gridlock. Right. We in conflict.
Yeah. And also just being one way, like perceiving in one way, yeah, like.
And the perception need to be in the us. We a team. So where your partner says something or not, either way, let's take responsibility. If it's responsibility needs to be taken, then let's move on. Get back to the loving relationship.
Right.
But when our perception is wrong and we're not in a mindful state, then it's hard to get right back to that relationship. Because like I said, they say we show up in two ways. We showing up as an adult us, or we showing up as a child version of us.
Right. If maybe he is or she is being negative. Yeah. That don't mean our perception have to be like negative right with them. Yeah. We can think like, what's wrong with me? Like,
and you got to think, because sometimes your partner complain, you ain't even thought that you actually,
like, what did I actually do?
Sometimes you don't even want. Sometimes you gotta wear it. Yeah. At least think about it. Maybe you did do it. Don't. But see, we so ready to react off of impulse and unmindfulness that we don't even think about that. We so ready to act, and that brings us to number 3, which is emotional regulation. When we're mindful and our perception is right, then we're able to emotionally regulate
our emotions. Yep. Yeah, allowing us to respond calmly and thoughtfully rather than just saying things that we don't mean. Yeah. Saying things that we can't take back,
Doing disagreements with the time when it's needed the most. Like I said, this mindful perception it's needed the most in conflicts.
Situation.
When you're in a conflict with your partner. Mm-hmm. That's what we need to be mindful, because we can say things and blow the hope. We can either escalate the situation or de-escalate the situation. And that depends on what state we're coming from. We come from a mindful relational state, or we come from an unmindful individual state. Because you can be powerful or you can be connected, but you cannot be both in a relationship. Anytime you step up in your power, which means you want to stand your ground, you want to be heard, or you try to win the argument, then you lose a connection. Right. And you can't do both. Right. You got to choose. That's what I'm saying. We're in an argument apart. We got to choose whether we want to be connected or we want to be power. You want to get your point across. And every time you do that, you breaking that gap. The gap of connection. It's like you cutting off the electricity. And this is love. So love you can't keep cutting off the electricity. We got food in there. It's gonna spoil.
Right.
We gotta understand that.
Yeah. I think in a relationship, we say certain things like, man, I wish you would just leave. I wish the person wouldn't perceive it so much as like, I'm getting out of here. I'm getting my bags. They want me to leave. Because it might just be that spouse that said, I wish they just need to calm down, but they not, saying it right. Yeah. And you are perceiving it
like I'm just gonna leave.
Like I'm just gonna leave. Oh, she want me to leave, or he want me to leave. I'm gonna get my stuff and I'm out of here.
And those are the worst. Those are the worst relationships, because when you're in a conflict, you cannot leave. Yeah. You can go take a break. Yeah. Only to come back, but you can't, like, you go on hours and things. If it's like certain things, y'all heated. I mean, you know, somebody cheating or different stuff with a woman and stuff, but most arguments are not nothing that needs to be a whole, you leaving for a day or you leaving for 3, 4 hours and stuff to take a break. That means you're not able to emotionally regulate. Right. You're not mindful. You're coming at a childish state in a relationship. Yeah. And we talked about, that was one of the videos we talked about before. You come to an immature state in a relationship. Immature people cannot handle conflict. Yeah. Mature people they able to talk and get coming with the right perspective, handle the conflict, and then get back to the loving relationship. Right. And that's what that's what you got to be able to do if you want your relationship to last. You got to be able to handle the conflict and then get back to the loving state. Right. Because if you're not handling the conflict and you leaving for, say, your wife said she wish you just leave, you get your stuff, you leave for 3 days. Oh, now her perception off. Yeah. Like, where you been? Yeah. Like, oh, he cheating every night. She thinking you out there cheating. Whether or not you was cheating or not, you just messed up purpose. Right. You messed up the perception of the relationship. I mean, you know, naturally, our mind gets to wonder. Right. People's mind get to wonder. If you can't tame it, that's why we're doing this 30-day mindfulness challenge to give people a chance to tame their mind. Because when the mind starts to wonder, most times it's gonna go in a negative state. Yeah. You gotta bring it in. Bring it back. Yeah. Bring it back. Woosah. Bring it back. Yeah, because when we're mindful, mindfulness reduces stress. Mm-hmm. Mindfulness practice reduces the stress levels, and overall, it makes us more aware and happiness in a more peaceful environment. Right. Because we're not in a reactive state. Number 4 of the 5 ways to enhance your mindful perception is so you focus more on the positive things. Yeah. You know, yeah. Like in your relationship, say your wife again say you gotta go. You know what she means. Yeah. Because you're mindful and you're present. You've been there with her, so you know she didn't mean you gotta go, pack your stuff and go. Yeah. She just meant she needed a break. She needed you to leave. Yeah. You know, for that moment, for a hot second. Yeah. So yeah, focus on that positive. You know, get a positive perception going on in that relationship. You gotta have positive, because anytime we thinking negative, it's never good. Because my time we thinking negative, we in our feelings. And if there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can't do us no harm. So mindfulness perception gives us, like I said, the ability to put us in a positive state. Like we're thinking on positive things. We're not thinking negative. We're not thinking like, oh, my partner's what they just said is out to get me. We're thinking, my partner said something. He just made a complaint, or she just made a complaint. My job is to hear what they saying, be here, and if I can address and fix what they just said to me, then I'm gonna do that. Right. So I can go ahead and do that. We can get back to the loving state, and then that means if that calls for you to apologize, correct the problem, and get back to the negative state, the positive state. Yeah. Know your spouse. You know your spouse. That way you won't be making so many assumptions. Yeah, you know, we hear. So I heard what you said. Not only did I hear what you said, I understand what you said. Right. That's a big difference. That's a big difference. You know, you talk to people, you give people, when you talk, we coaching people, we giving people advice. You can hear, I know people that's not going to do what we told them to do when they say, I hear you. Mm-hmm. That old, our famous, I hear you. That I hear you thing, man, I hear you, but I'm not listening. And a lot of people say that to you. They say, I hear you. I almost said it, but a lot of people say that to you, and they just don't. I know that it's just what it is. Yeah, I hear you. And the hear is go like the kids hear you. They go in one ear, out the other. You don't interpret. See, when we actually listen, active listening means we're able to interpret. And the only way we're able to interpret things is we actually slow down and actually pay attention to everything that the person's saying. And you can't. I know you're not paying attention if you're not looking. You can't be paying attention to me if you're not looking at me. Right. And you know, one of the things that I'm just sitting here thinking about is a person saying, I hear you. The difference between the person saying, I hear you, and then a person saying, I hear you, I'm going to do this, that, and that. They regurgitate what you just said. Then you know they that they, and that they more than likely going to do what they said they was going to do. Because sometimes you can be listening and you might catch one word out the phrase and then you repeat that. I heard what you said. You said such and such, but no, you wasn't listening. Right. Because all you got to act that what you said was the last word I said. That's when you actually woke up. Because you heard what I was gonna come at you with a question. Yeah, and you'll be surprised
when you tell that person what you want them to do or something, and then they be like, "I hear you." You be okay, what I say? They be like, I forgot what you say.
Because wasn't active listening, and when we bring that inactive listening in our relationship, it's going to mess it up. Mm-hmm. We can't have too many moments where we're not connecting, we're not clicking. Like I said, a husband and wife, when the wife leave or husband leave his father, they cling to the wife, cling to each other. And in order for us to cling to each other, we got to be on the same page. Yeah. We got to be mindful. We got to be on the same page, and that's because if we're not, then we start getting little bits and conflicts, pockets of conflict start coming up in our relationship.
Yeah, and if we're not on the same page, we could just be unequally yoked. Like
yeah. And it happens because we hear, but we're not here.
Right.
We stop being mindful. We stop being mindful.
Sometimes you can get comfortable.
We get comfortable, and we just start going through the motions. Like I'm here, baby. I come home from work, I'm here, but we're not really mindful. And then you find that relationship start getting stagnated over time.
Okay, so yeah, positive focus. Focus on the positive things. Focus on positively being present.
Yeah.
And not on so much, I would say, no negative. And on the other hand, I know that the other spouse shouldn't be giving you a reason to have that perception of them. Like if in a relationship, a person can be, doing actually done cheated or done some stuff, and then it's hard
to take that away.
It's hard for a person to be mindfully present. Mindfully perceiving.
Yeah.
That they not actually going out cheating.
Especially, and that's even more the case, especially when they going through the same motions that they've been doing when they was cheating. Now, it's different between if your motions start switching up, like maybe you're not going to the work, but when you still out there, you still going to the job, you still out there doing your thing, and now you want this person to trust you again when you still. I understand.
That would be hard. But there's the one thing: if the person who's been cheated on said they was gonna forgive them,
then you gotta forgive.
Then they gotta forgive, and you just gotta be mindfully present and perceiving in a positive way.
Yeah, and when those negative thoughts do come in your head, you gotta put them
right down. Because the only way you're gonna move forward is to let go. Of what happened. You can't keep bringing it up and
close the door. Be sure to get our book, 7 Steps for Communication. I just say that now because that goes into effect, because so often we ready to go to the next step, we forget to close the chapters to the last book. So it's always extensive. Before we can move forward, we must close the doors of the previous things behind us, so we can come to our full step in this relationship.
Yes, that's part of our 7 steps in our book. So effective communication skills for couples. The link will be in the wherever you see this video. Okay, and so number 5, to round it all up in a nutshell, mindful perception enhances conflict resolution. And that's all we've been talking about too. So we've been talking about, conflict resolution in a nutshell with the different ways, the 5 different ways to enhance your marriage with mindful perception.
And mindful, like I said, and by helping with conflict resolution, it allows you to come with a constructive approach.
Right. And that approach, it's an action step. That's action.
Yeah. And it also allows you to pause and reflect. Because if we don't pause and actually interpret what our partner said, then we're going to react in a impulsive way.
Yeah. So conflict resolution is in all of these that we have just told you about. So let's go over them right quick, and we'll come back down to conflict resolution. So number 1, the number 1 way that we have that mindful perception can enhance your marriage is by enhancing your understanding. Okay, and that's with empathy and reduce misunderstandings. Number 2 is improved communication. Active listening, nonverbal cues, And number 3 is emotional regulation. Mindful perception helps you regulate your emotions.
and be more calm, and reduces your stress.
Yep. Number 4 is it helps you focus positively in your relationship. So positive focus. Yeah. Okay. So you focus on the positive things. You perceiving things positive.
Yep. And
positively.
And the whole main thing is, like I said, I think E.T. Eric Thomas said it best when he said habit stack. We got to habit stack, because sometimes, so often in life, we fail to grow because we fail to habit stack. We learn one thing, then we forget it. And then we got to learn something else. In order to grow, growth comes and growth comes when we start habit stacking what we learn. So hopefully you guys can habit stack this and start enhancing your relationship.
Yep. So go ahead, baby.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so another way, the last way that mindful perception helps in conflict resolution is with problem solving. Yeah. So by staying calm and focused, we can approach the problem again with a level head.
Yeah, level head.
Without judgment, with an oriented mindset, and we can resolve the issue together.
Yeah, okay. Rather than
escalating them.
Yeah, because it can get escalated quick.
It can.
When we're not mindful, and we're not coming with a mindful perception.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, and what we talk about today, guys, is probably one of a good, powerful tool that we know can enhance and improve your connection in your relationship. And not only that, it will aid in regulating your emotional unstableness that people have when they're just not mindful in a situation that they're in right now.
Right. So take these 5 ways, practice mindful perception. Yeah. Put it in your marriage. See how that go. Yep, habit stack. That's the big thing, habit stack. Okay, so that's just what you've learned, and then you start implementing. Yeah. Keep doing them on top of each other.
Don't forget one. Yeah. And then pick up another. You gotta
keep habit stacking.
But every relationship is different though. So find your rhythm, your pace. Yes. And keep building.
Yes. That's all we have. So go ahead and make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Go on over to our Facebook page, TNL.JVisions. We TNL.JVisions on most platforms, so you can find us there. Just make sure you subscribe. We're trying to reach that 1,000.
Yeah. And we're trying to get the content out there, man. We got a lot to share.
We need to help a lot.
We're going to help a lot of couples out here live and grow a thriving marriage. Yeah, we got this plug in, man.
Yeah, we got 20 years to throw at you. Okay. And so they had vision, and together they built the life that they love. Go build.